Hello everybody, this is Paul from Southern Adirondack Outdoors. Right now we're at the Sawmill, which is basically across the road from our house, so easy access. And I just want to tell you a little about it. It's a wood-mizer LT15, no hydraulics, full manual, wear and tear on the back, but good exercise. So we enjoy it, and we've cut a lot on it already. We built the whole shed from wood that we cut, mostly white pine. It came down in a storm about 2 years ago, so we haven't had to cut any trees. Just go out and get them in the woods and bring them over and cut them up. We've the total dimensions of the big opening here for loading logs in. It's about 20 feet across and 12.5 feet to the bottom of the beam up there. That beam itself was milled with a chainsaw with an Alaskan sawmill. It's roughly 9 by 14, so it should hold up, but you can still come wintertime, which is actually here. We'll be putting a post in the middle. We have a footer and one of the sono tubes, and a post will go up in the middle just for the winter, just in case. But we think it should hold up fine. Okay, I'm going to take a mobile here and we'll go take a quick look at the sawmill. And there's Fenway. She's always around. You'll be seeing a lot of her. So we just finished building this about a month ago. Still got some work to do. We left the back here open for dust and gas fumes from the engine to escape from. And this end open so we can check out all the cutoffs and stuff out there. And I don't know if you can see way down the distance, there's a cutoff pile we have to get rid of sooner or later. Probably a big bonfire. And back behind the saw head, there's going to be an enclosed area for tools and whatnot related to the sawmilling. As well as some storage of pieces, of course. And here's a piece of burl that we cut a little while ago, just one that I saved for our own use. We don't really sell lumber, but if neighbor wants some and have logs, we cut up for them. Just to be neighborly. I have found a guy who does epoxy tables. So a lot of the questionable stuff that isn't good enough for lumber, but is a good size, we'll cut up for him, and he'll spend a small fortune on these half-rotten logs to make tables out of. So more power to him, but not something that I think I would enjoy doing. A lot of hassle. Again, more white pine siding milled up. All the posts and beams that we used were from the white pine as well. Just going around to the back side. Nothing too exciting back here, but again, you see the opening and we enclosed part of it. And the Farm Hand Companions guy recommended putting 45-degree cuts on the bottom of your boards. Down there as well on the bottom, so they form a drip edge. It's supposed to make it last longer. First I heard that, so I thought I'd give it a try. We'll be painting this come spring. As you can see, there's already snow on the ground and more coming this way. Off to the right here, you see this big green thing. That's just a garage in a box that we've used for storage for a while. Back to the front of the sawmill. So far the LT15 has been doing good. Haven't had any problems with it. Luckily we bought it just before the pandemic, about 6 months before, so we just had to drive over and pick it up. We didn't have to wait a year like a lot of people do nowadays. So that's just a little brief overview of the sawmill. Come on, Goofy. This property used to be farmland, probably about 100 years ago, maybe 90 to 100 years ago. And you still find things like this, old metal wagon wheels, other miscellaneous parts of the wagon. Looks like a wheel hub. There's bushings maybe. So you never know what you find out in the woods here these days. But every now and then you find a stash of this stuff, probably where the wagon rotted to the ground. In addition to old farm parts, you also got stone piles like this around. Imagine hauling all these out by hand and putting them in a pile. Back-breaking work. And of course there's also old pasture trees, each probably grown out in pasture, and the farmland's growing up around it. This is a big old cherry that came down in the storm 2 springs ago. Still got to get around to getting it clear up and out of here, but it's about 28 to 30 inches diameter, and you can see how long. Hung up a little bit, still attached to the stump and still pulling water, so it's still growing, but obviously won't last long in this condition. So that'll be a project later on this year or next spring. And it also has a neighbor tree, which I've taken some off, but is in the same sort of condition. Hung up in more trees, of course, so those will probably have to come down at some point too. So more fun. Oh, there's Fenway. She wants me to hurry up and get up to her on the trail. Alright, I'm coming. Here are some of the logs that I've already pulled out from that storm I mentioned a minute ago. Probably got over 150 trees down. Gave away about 50 cords of firewood just to get rid of it so it wouldn't rot. We burn wood ourselves, but only burn about 9 or 10 cord a year, so no way we'd go through it before it went bad. So better just to get good graces of the neighbors and give them some firewood. Take you around. Here's some big pines that came down as well. Those will be going in the mill. See the size by my hand here. It's probably about 3 foot across and maybe 2.5 vertically. And a couple more I think this is the butt log and the 2 upper logs. Now sun wagon. So these are a bunch of maples I'll go for firewood. Just hauled those up earlier this year. And another stack of white pine. Had a lot of white pine and a lot of black cherry come down. Hopefully we won't have a storm like that again anytime soon. I mentioned before about this being old farmland that's grown up over the years. Here's one of the old farmhouse foundations. It's hard to tell at the moment, but it's actually a decent sized building here. Not my memory, but my father says it was. Still has the old foundation plantings around it. And up here, just maybe 40 feet away, 30 feet away, is another foundation. I'm assuming that one was a house, one was a barn, but that's way before my time, so I can't guarantee that. Probably a little hard to see on camera, but probably about a 6-foot deep hole here. Little corner stones going almost at a right angle. Be interesting to find out what was farmed up here. Yeah, I'm coming, Fenrir. Here's some more logs from that storm that I mentioned. Came through just under 2 years ago. This is as far as my little 35 horsepower tractor at the time could haul them. These are pretty big for comparison. Here's my phone for size, and they're all about 22 feet long. And from here on out back to the house, it's up and down hills, so as long as I'm flat land, the tractor could haul them, but once we hit the hills, not so much.